Gamers, beavers, lurkers, grab your snacks. The underdog, the legend in his own mind. Jaybeazt, dropping memes and bringing heat. Jaybeazt, streaming starting, pull up a seat. Breaking news, trailers dropped. I react and maybe sound a bit shocked. New game hype, I got the tea. Call of Duty, Battlefield, come watch me. Not a big shot, just starting out, but I'll hype your chat and hype my clout. My aim's kinda bad, my joke's kinda worse, but at least I never stream with rehearse. Jaybeazt, underdog with gamer streak. Jaybeazt, laughs, reacts, chaos you seek. Warning. Jaybeazt, you may mispronounce your favorite game. Please remain calm. Chat's alive, memes flying fast. I may fail, but it's always a blast. Subscriber hype, not just some friends, but the fun and chaos never ends. Reacting, chatting, sometimes I play, even if I die in the first 5 minutes. Hey, new game breakdown, I'll nerd out loud, making jokes, looking goofy, maybe proud. Jaybeazt, underdog, but bringing fire. Jaybeazt, lo-fi beats, memes, and satire. Who's in chat? Beast back. What's the game? Total snack. Level up? Maybe not yet, but we laugh, we hype, you won't forget. Achievements, sure, but I miss a lot. Glitches, bugs, rage quits I've caught, but while the pros are flexing loot, I'm here, underdog with style and cute. Streaming news, trailers, reactions too. Sometimes I even know what I'm doing, kinda true. Chat laughs, memes fly, and everyone's hyped. Welcome to Jaybeazt, the underdog is live tonight. Jaybeazt, underdog, chaotic streak. Jaybeazt, gaming news, laughs, you seek. Not a pro but never weak. Gosh, Jaybeazt may mispronounce your famous pronunciation game or make you laugh uncontrollably. Stream starting now. The fifth out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the weekend. Oh my goodness. How have we been, man? I feel like it's been a while since I did my last stream because we did one on Wednesday. Because we usually do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I decided to just do one on Wednesday and then call it a week. And here we are in the weekend. I hope you all had a really great week and enjoying your weekend. Down here in Melbourne, it is a crazy ass weather. A whole week of weather we're getting. As you can see, I'm back to my blue jumper today, blue hoodie today, and I was in a t-shirt yesterday because it was really hot. It was like 31 or 32 degrees down here in Melbourne. And I got my hot coffee again today, opposed to iced coffee, because it's cold again today. So welcome to Melbourne weather. So there's that, and I'm falling asleep a little bit. It's 7 o'clock over here now, but I think the coffee will keep me up. So that's all good. But at least we got some light. It's not dark yet, so that's great. So that's one good thing about summer, which I love. We have. Sorry, I gotta get a few sips in. We got a few new gameplay trailers to check out today. One is a really new game that caught my eye, and I have a few thoughts. So we will check that out. And also, we got a winter update coming for Battlefield 6, which we will get to in a minute. And there's a whole new tidbits about things that are happening in the gaming industry, especially a legendary game developer coming back out of retirement. What could that mean? We will talk about that as well. And also we have to talk about the whole ordeal with Netflix buying out Warner Brothers and how that is going to affect all the gaming studios that's under Warner Brothers right now. Because I think there's a bit to talk about there as well, you know. Um, so we will get to that in a minute. Thank you for your message, kind message. Thank you very much. Testimony 880. Anyway, yeah, so we will talk about that. And also, there was a insights video that IGN dropped a couple of days ago, which I saw pretty much right after I did my stream on Wednesday, and I was like, oh, I should have talked about it. So I'm gonna talk about it today. It's about 007 developer insights, which I thought was really cool. So we'll talk about that as well. So yeah, before we get to any of that, you know, I love Battlefield 6. Play Battlefield 6 with all the free time I get, which is probably not healthy. But we have a winter update coming. Winter if you're in US. If you're in Melbourne, it's summer, full blast summer. Not yet at least, but it is cold today, but you know, it is summer. But yeah, we're getting an update called Battlefield 6 Winter Offensive. It's a content update that is going to be dropping a bunch of limited time maps, game modes, and a whole set of bug fixes. So they have put out this update. Let me open it up so I can start talking about it. Community update. Okay, so let me turn this on. You guys can see this, right? Yep, you can. Okay, so I don't want to ask anything from Grok. Okay, Battlefield comms. Battlefield 6 community update, latest updates ahead of winter offensive. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our latest community update. And improvements are escalation on November 18th. We increase the time required to capture objectives and territory in escalation, roughly 20%. Okay, that's cool. Challenges on November 19th, alongside 1.1.2.0 update, we made several changes and fixes to the challenges system. While this has alleviated several issues with progression and reward tracking, we're still seeing reports from players that not all challenges properly unlock their rewards after finishing them. A team is investigating and will provide an update as we get more traction on this. Okay, cool. I don't know if I have personally come across any challenges issues like this, but that's cool that they're actively on it already. Anti-cheat. November 28, our anti-cheat system provided an update on the current state of anti-cheat, how the match infection rate is trending, how we use it to help measure game quality. Okay, cool. All right, winter offensive. This is the good stuff. All right. This is dropping in December 9th, which is coming pretty soon. Literally in 3 days. So it's dropping on Tuesday. Cool. And the update notes are coming. Audio improvements. Okay. This might be important. With this update, we have made a broad set of audio improvements, including better prioritization of important combat and vehicle sounds, and a comprehensive pass-on footsteps to improve clarity, distance definition, and positional awareness across the game. That is awesome. I think a lot of people did have an issue with the vehicle sounds. I specifically have come across this issue where the vehicle sounds sometimes just go off and then you just can't hear anything. You just hear like parts of the engine sounds of the vehicle and then not all of it. It's really weird. I think it just started happening after the latest update. It wasn't really a thing before. And yeah, the footsteps sounds can be a little bit inconsistent as well, so that's good. We have also continued to work on performance and memory issues that could cause sounds, such as vehicles and footsteps to sometimes not play as intended. There you go, which has been particularly noticeable on large battle royale maps. I have certainly come across this issue in Conquest. I can't say a lot, but I have noticed it a few times. Mode adjustments across Rush and Breakthrough. We're making major updates focused on improving attacker flow, reducing defender oversaturation, and tightening clarity around objectives. Our goal is to make each push feel more readable, fair, and momentum based without undermining strong defensive play. Okay, all right. I think this is a much needed adjustment for these two game modes because if you played, I don't know, um, if you have played uh, Rush or Breakthrough on some of the maps like I'm trying to think Manhattan Bridge or I think Empire State, that first patch of like push can be really rough. It can be really rough and it can really lead to just frustration among players and yeah, I think yeah, especially if you're playing the offense side, it can really feel like it's impossible to get through that first push. And sometimes most of the matches that I have done in those modes, if you're playing offensive, it's really tough. It's really tough, and the match is usually over before it can progress any further, and that really sucks. And if you're playing defense on those sides, it's really easy to keep the defense. It's really easy to keep the defense and keep a strong defense against the enemy team because it's that's not a lot you can do. You just hold down the front and then uh, it's already at a disadvantage for the enemy team. So yeah, makes sense. Makes really sense. Give me 1 second, guys. Uh, Need to turn the light on. Okay, that's much better. I was like, why is it not?
I'm not quite sure how to help you.
I was just wondering, like, why it feels a little dark in here than usual. It's because I had the window open. I forgot to turn on the light. So here we go. We're good. All right, moving on. In Breakthrough, capture volumes and vehicle availability have been updated across several maps. These changes are guided by your feedback and internal data. Awesome. In Rush, MCOM locations and Manhattan Bridge and Liberation Peak have been adjusted to give attackers more reliable access and to smooth out the flow between sectors. Like I said, Manhattan Bridge and Liberation Peak can really feel really tough as well. So I'm glad they're making those changes. I'm pretty sure fans of Rush will be very happy to receive this update. Although, here in Australia, if you're playing a little late night, you barely find any servers playing Rush, unfortunately. I don't know. Do you guys play Rush a lot? I remember back in Battlefield 3 days, I used to play Rush a lot. I played Rush almost exclusively um, for a time period. But then I switched back to Conquest. But then, yeah, Conquest and Rush were my main modes. And a lot of people used to play Rush. But I feel like a lot of people still play Conquest, but a lot less people play Rush. I don't know if if you feel the same way, but I'm purely basing that on how tough it's been to find um, server that's playing Rush. It usually takes a couple of minutes to find a game, whereas Conquest is almost immediate. So might just be an Aussie thing, Aussie server thing. Across both modes, multiple capture zones have been reshaped or clarified. Okay. Beyond these highlights, we have also made a range of quality of life improvements. Okay. Combat systems. In this update, we have also made broad improvements across our combat systems to help deliver. Yeah, cool. High registration and netcode. We continue to build on our work to make hit registration feel consistent, reliable, and predictable during every engagement. With this update, we have improved how bullet trajectories are aligned in fast-paced situations, including cases where shots were fired while transitioning into zoom. Great. These improvements correct inconsistencies that could affect hit registration and the readability of where your shots were landing. We have also made updates to better handle high density combat scenarios to ensure bullets register more reliably when multiple players are fighting in close proximity. I think this is a much important update to receive. This could really balance the gameplay a little more. I have seen a lot of people posting clips where you're literally just few meters away from the guy and then you're just shooting right at him, but none of the bullets get registered, none of the hits get registered, and it's really bizarre. I think I've had minor cases of this, although like wasn't super annoying for me. But I think yeah, some people really had big issues with that, despite having good enough connection to play the game. So this is some much needed update. In parallel, we have tightened the clarity of damage feedback so that health UI changes and damage cues feel more immediate and easy to understand during combat. Cool. While this separate from netcode itself, improving how damage is presented plays a key role in making hit registration feel responsive and intuitive. Lastly, we have resolved an issue where clients could briefly display certain pieces of geometry as intact even though they had already been destroyed on the server. Fixing okay, yeah. It's cool. That's good. Soldier visibility. Oh my goodness. Finally, let's see what they say. Development is also ongoing to further enhance soldier visibility and to make combat readability feel sharp and intuitive across all environment. In this update, we have refined how visibility effects activate at close range so that soldiers stand out more clearly in darker or low contrast areas. We have also updated prone animations to include more subtle movement, improving the ability to spot soldiers using low profile positions. Cool. All right. Weapon adjustments, weapons feel, and reliability are always top priority for the team. This update includes wide-ranging improvements to weapon handling, including fixes to fit first shot accuracy, attachment behavior, and tuning across various recoil patterns and weapon categories. These changes aim to deliver more predictable and consistent weapon performances in active combat. We will continue to refine weapon behavior based on live data and player feedback, with additional adjustments already in development for future updates. Cool. We are actively exploring several areas aimed at improving clarity, responsiveness, and fairness in combat. On the weapons front, we will continue monitoring the effects of the dispersion changes introduced in California resistance. The early trends shows a healthy distribution of weapon usage across categories, and we will keep tracking performance to identify outliers as the meta evolves. Okay, and everything else is just red sec stuff, which is cool. Portal experiences you should give a try. Cool. Snipers versus runners. Oh, cool. I love that they included portal codes, experience codes in their update, which is super cool, giving more exposure to Portal. King of the Ring. Players race around the ring and try to reach the end without falling off or being blown up by the rocket launcher wielding player in the middle of the ring. Will you make it to the finish line or get blown to the pieces? Yeah. In case you missed it, we're launching the Battlefield RedSec Elite series, and you can become part of those adrenaline-filled moments when your squad pushes their limits and get the win. Thank you for your ongoing support. Okay. All right, so that is the official update. There's a lot there, and didn't include the winter offensive specific update. It's just the updates, the bug fixes that's ahead of the winter offensive update. What is new in winter offensive, you may ask? There's a lot, actually. There's a lot. I just found this article on Insider Gaming as usual, and it is a long article. It is a very, very long article. I'll just show you. There it is. I gotta do the thing that I do. Oops. I gotta do the thing that I do. Hang on. Oh. There you go. Make it all good. There you go. That works. Yeah, so this is a very long article. As you can see, it is putting all the updates in here. So what I'll do is I will just stick with what we have here. Hang on. What's new in Battlefield 6 Winter Offensive? Okay. Alright, so we're gonna start receiving a new time-limited map called Icelock Empire State, the winter version of the map with frozen streets and seasonal environmental visuals. Amazing. And along with the players, we'll get a new themed event game mode, which can be played across domination, conquest, and gauntlet mission variations on Icelock Empire State. The event will also come with a time-limited mechanic called Freeze. Okay. Alright, moreover, Battlefield 6 Winter Offensive will also add a new melee weapon, the Ice Climbing Axe, which will be available on the latest Battle Pass. The Battle Pass for this event is called Winter Offensive Bonus Path, and it features an 11-tier time-limited reward track featuring event cosmetics, XP boosters, and the Ice Climbing Axe. Amazing. Lastly, the new Icelock Empire State map will also be supported for Portal experience during its availability period. That is cool. Very, very cool. And then they lay out the patch notes for the entire Winter Offensive update. I am not gonna go through all of this because it's like they are pretty much detailing every little thing they have fixed, which is amazing, really, really amazing. So I'll put a link down in the video below if you want to check. It's in if you just Google Insider Gaming Battlefield 6, this should come up. But they have done a lot of changes across all the maps, all the classes, to the progression system, UI, vehicles, weapons, everything. There's a lot of changes done here. Even some changes to the single player, and most importantly, audio as well, and like footsteps. Just on the footstep, there's a lot of details here. So these are the stuff that we just discussed before, what they have tweeted ahead of this update dropping, and these are the actual details of that specific update. So there's a lot fixed there. A lot of stuff has been fixed, which is amazing. I'm just gonna see. I'll just see if there's anything that stands out to me in each section, and then I'll call it out. A lot of minor issues. Okay. Lots of it to do with movement and physics-based stuff and animation issues. Machine gun fire from some vehicles would not consistently register damage against soldiers. I have definitely experienced that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so lots of fixes. All right, well, moving on. This is for you to enjoy reading at your own pace. But we will move on to the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about, which is, it's a very minor thing actually. we've been talking a lot about how EA is finally going private because they've been bought out by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund and a few other entities together. So with this acquisition, there was a lot of talk about the future of some of the IPs that Electronic Arts own and whether or not they are going to be uh, whether it will be something that people need to be concerned about moving forward because you know obviously people have the right to worry about this kind of stuff and rightfully so. When these kind of acquisitions happens, you never really know whether uh, you did the right thing and uh, what's going to happen to these IPs. So one of the out of at the back of this news, what's Insider Gaming has been able to uncover is that apparently EA has no plans to make a new Dead Space game, and which is really unfortunate because we saw a resurgence of Dead Space like games a couple of years back, especially starting with Dead Space remake, which didn't really do too well as not at least not as well as I hoped it would, but it was still a pretty good game. And also Callisto Protocol, which a lot of people gave a lot of crap to. I myself actually thought it was a pretty okay game. It wasn't the best game, but it was a pretty good Dead Space knockoff, and I enjoyed it. It was a pretty good game. Um can't say it had its weaknesses, but it's not the worst thing I have played. And there really is space for Dead Space kind of games, but we just haven't seen that resurgence that we hoped to see with the remake of Dead Space and the likes of Callisto Protocol. So it looks like EA has decided that enough is enough, so they're not going to waste any more time on that IP. That's what it says here. As first reported on the latest episode of Insider Gaming Weekly, sources have told Insider Gaming that the series has been put on ice. That's based on internal messaging happening within the company. Sources added that with the direction of EA, they don't expect the series to be picked back up anytime soon. That includes the idea of a remake, reboot, or sequel. So we're not going to get any remakes or reboots or any sequels. The IP, Dead Space IP, is dead to EA as far as I'm concerned. That said, there is still a future for the 17-year-old series, with reports that the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund being in a tough spot financially after the EA sale. Those who spoke under the condition of anonymity are hoping that EA under the new ownership would want to sell the IP. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt because this is purely stuff that hearsay coming from within the internal sources. Nothing is really confirmed, but it looks like this is not confirmation they're actively looking to sell the IP, but this is from talking with a few people in the company that feel that EA might try to sell the IP in order to pay off some of the debt that's been accumulated due to the acquisition. And we did talk about it. It was like a $55 billion deal, but part of that value came from using EA itself as collateral and getting a getting a loan from a bank. So you need to pay that loan back to the bank as soon as possible, and if you're not able to pay that, the EA becomes collateral to that. So what they trying to do now, well, they they might actually sell some of these IPs that are sitting, and Need for Speed is one of them as well. They have mentioned Need for Speed might also not get any new games because it's also been underperforming lately as well. But these are iconic to Electronic Arts, so I'm not sure whether they would want to do that. But Dead Space, I can totally see they trying to sell off to get some of that, pay out the debt and recoup some of that money after the deal closes next year. But you never know. You never know. But anyway, that's a little bit of news that I wanted to tell you. Does that mean that we're not gonna see a Dead Space again? Probably not anytime soon. But is it completely out of the question? Probably not. Probably not. We might actually see it in a decade or so, but we don't really know. It all depends on how this acquisition goes and how well EA is going to perform after the acquisition. Because as with any acquisitions, we have seen so many studios go under after the acquisition. The big acquisition happened with Embracer Group that didn't really go too well. Same with the acquisitions that went with Xbox and Microsoft. So many videos got put under because they just didn't perform really well. So many iconic game studios as well. This could happen to EA. Not saying that EA itself is gonna get dissolved, but yeah, the 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 presence of the company could shrink significantly if they do not perform in order to save money and recoup those losses. So yeah, they're in a bit of a pickle at the moment with that acquisition. It's not a full saving grace for EA, unfortunately. They do have their work cut out for them. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think of the EA situation, and do you want to see another Dead Space soon, or were you hoping that after the EA acquisition went through that they would start actively working on it? Are you disappointed by this news? Let me know. Okay. What have we got here? Yeah, okay. So, there has been a news about a legendary game developer coming back to its game studio back out of retirement in order to work on a project that has not been disclosed. And if you hear the name, you probably will know exactly what I'm talking about. It is Tim Kaine, who we all know is was working for Obsidian, who make Outer Worlds games, and before that, he very famously worked on Fallout, um, one of the original team under Bethesda before they moved away to form Obsidian. And yeah, he worked on a lot of stuff, and then uh, most famously, he was one of the people who masterminded the Fallout franchise as well. So but the thing is, he has been out of the field. He's been in retirement. He retired a couple of years ago, I think, and sorry, for some reason, he put out, and he's got a YouTube channel, and for some reason he put out a update, Kane on Game Update, as it's called, uh, announcing that he's coming back to Obsidian to work on a project, and he's it's not just him like consulting or doing some consulting work on the side while he's staying in retirement. No, he's actually coming back out of the retirement to work on a full project full time. And also, it's one of the projects that is not by Obsidian. That is the part that got me interested. So, Tim Kaine, a legendary developer who worked on Fallout, coming out of retirement to work on a project that's not Obsidian owned, that is not disclosed. I think it's safe to say this might be a Fallout remake or New Vegas sequel or something like that. Maybe a New Vegas sequel. Fallout New Vegas. Maybe it could be a Fallout New Vegas remake. Who knows? I don't know. But I think safe to assume that. At least it's safe to speculate that. Why else would he come out of retirement to work on a project? And at this point, Obsidian and Bethesda both owned by Xbox and Microsoft, so they're both working for the same boss now. So it's no wonder that Microsoft would probably, even if they didn't ask, it's easier to make that decision because even though they broke away into two separate studios before the buyout, now they work for the same boss. So yeah, it can very easily happen. But he didn't say anything. But
So I'm not a contract.
anyway, I just want to show you the video that he put out. This is the video. I'm just Kane on Games.
Hi everyone, it's me, Tim. Decided to do a Canon Games update because as you can see, things have changed. Lots of changes actually, so I thought I'd spend a fun Friday walking through the changes so you guys can know what's going on. First off, I have moved back to Southern California.
Nice.
I did that a little over a week ago, my time, but remember I have a big queue, it's like 6 weeks long, I think, on this channel. So from your point of view, you kept seeing a bunch of videos that I filmed up in Seattle. Although you did see a video on Arcana Magic Design that popped up in this place. These shelves had nothing in it. I hadn't unpacked. It's because someone who is a super mutant paid for a priority video and wanted to know about Arcana Magic Design. So I dropped what I was doing and I talked about Arcana Magic Design and colleges and Magic Tech and all that stuff. I thought it was a pretty good video. Still
Cool.
getting used to the sound. I think the sound's a little better because when this room was empty, it was very echoey.
Cool.
But I've
Cool.
been very busy unpacking. I managed to fill all these. You'll see that this is a lot of the same stuff, but it's in a little bit of different order because my display cases are over here now where you can't see them. And I also put things in different places.
I'll probably
Up there.
I'll probably skip to the part where he talks about the game update. Probably you might want me to do that as well.
Place. And immediately, this squirrel just ran up to me.
Wait, hang on. There's a squirrel story in this game,
place.
in this
And
update.
I-
Hang on.
Also,
I gotta see this.
I moved into this place, and immediately, this squirrel just ran up to me like she knew me, like she was my best friend. Just no fear, comes right up to me. Didn't know what to do. I mean, she just sat there and looked at me, and I shrugged. And I'm
That
like,
is so
what do
cute.
you want from me? I don't know you. Talked to a friend of mine who feeds the squirrels and birds and all, and in her backyard. She said get some walnuts. She gave me a starter pack of walnuts. So now, whenever I leave, I have to pay the tax to this squirrel, and it's gotten to the point where she expects one when I come home too.
Wow.
So that's 2 walnuts a day I got to pay this thing to get to my own place.
Okay, this is nothing to do with the gaming yet, but like, that is so cool, dude. That is so cool. I wish like, I mean, we get birds in the backyard a lot, and I sometimes put out like, just little bird food out, but we don't really have squirrels here. I don't think I've ever seen a squirrel on trees. Maybe like in the forest, but you barely get to see any squirrels around in Melbourne. I wish we had one. They're so cute.
So second, I should point out that I'm back at Obsidian. I'm their full-time employee and in person, so not remote. So I'm not a contractor anymore. So this means that I'm not working in other places, although there's at least one game that I worked on that I know is going to ship. So I don't know if it'll be next year or the year
Okay.
after, but a game's going to come out that's not an Obsidian game. They'll have my name in the credits because I did work for it. There are other games I worked on. I'm not sure they're going to ship.
There you go. Okay, so that's the bit I was talking about. There's a game that's going to ship. He knows that it's going to come out. That is not an Obsidian game. What else could it be if not Fallout New Vegas? What else could it be if it's not Fallout New Vegas, my friends? You tell me. I'm pretty sure it is that. But it could be a completely new game too. That's probably why he's not saying anything. Maybe it is a completely new IP. But come on. Who are we kidding?
The
Come on
2020
now.
to 2025 was a weird time in the industry, and a lot
Yeah.
of games got
COVID.
started, and a lot of games got canceled. So I really don't know the status of all the games that I contracted on.
Fair enough.
I also can't talk about the project I'm working on at Obsidian just because, that's covered under NDA. Don't
yeah.
bother guessing. You're not going to guess right. I would say that I'm probably a lot less retired now.
Okay. This could also be a Fallout New Vegas one too, though. Like, that could be coming under Obsidian. Because, like, if you really think about it, New Vegas was made by people who formed Obsidian before they formed it. So almost all the devs that are in Obsidian Studios, are coming straight out of Bethesda that worked on Fallout New Vegas, which went down as one of the best Fallout games in the history of the franchise. So wouldn't Xbox and Microsoft want to cash in on that, goodness? Now they have both developer groups under their wing. Of course they would. Why would they not? So makes sense, no?
Than I was before. So the whole video I have on being semi-retired, I guess I'm not. I've been here for a little over a week. I already have 4 new shirts. This is a shirt that Obsidian designed in memoriam for Terry Hess, an artist who passed away recently at Obsidian.
Oh,
I also went to the Outer Worlds launch party. I guess I'll make a video about that at some point. I came home with a tattoo of the Moon Man.
that's that's definitely not like an actual tattoo. I was like, you just got a tattoo of the Moon Man? Yeah, I think. Oh, that's just a biscuit. Yeah, you can't get a tattoo with hair. You have to remove hair. Yeah, I've got experience, so yeah, this gotta be a fake tattoo. Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
All right.
Third, I just want to say this channel is going to keep going. No one in Obsidian has even remotely suggested that I have to stop it. In fact, many of my coworkers have said that they watch this channel. And I know they did because they started telling me which videos were their favorite or what stories I said that they thought were funny. So
That's
people are
cool.
saying they like it. I'm going to keep doing it. As long as I have stories to tell, as long as you have questions that are really good and that I think need a video to answer and that I can answer them. Sometimes you guys ask me questions about art or music or just things I don't know about. Someone else did it and I stuck it in the game. So as long as you ask questions I can answer, I'm going to be here answering them. It's interesting to note that this entire channel started because I wrote a really thick memoir, and everybody who read it said it was boring. And a couple people suggested that instead of writing stories about my time in game development, I talk about them. And that's what this channel is. And it's become
Good
a lot
advice.
more than that since then. I now talk about current trends in game development. I answer your questions about game development. So the channel has become a lot more than just Tim Kaine story hour on things that happened 30 years ago.
All right. Anyway, well, you get the gist. get the gist of it. And yeah, it's safe to assume that he might be back on deck, working on another Fallout game. But nothing's confirmed, obviously, and he can't say anything. So we'll probably find out soon enough. But yeah, there's no other reason why they would bring him back out of retirement. I think there's no other reason. But I mean, if he was already working on it, I would be like, yeah, maybe they're working on something. But why would they bring back this legendary dude out of retirement? The only reason why he did, I mean, and he had to move back to California as well. So he must have been offered a lot of money for this as well, and that's enough money that he couldn't say no. So I'm assuming it's got to be something important, not just a new IP. It's got to be an existing one. And what do we know as an existing? Fallout New Vegas, baby. So yeah, if you think otherwise, please do let me know. But I think it is. We all think it. We all think it. You know it. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you think it otherwise. All right, we're gonna look at something fun. Okay, we're gonna look at something fun. Before, okay, actually, you know what? Before we get to watching videos today, I want to actually talk about the whole Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers. I saw this actually last night, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, honestly, they just put out this press release. I'll show this to you. This is the press. This is their press release on their website. Netflix to acquire Warner Brothers following the separation of Discovery Global for a total enterprise value of 82.7 billion. Whew. Man, that's a big number, man. That is a big, big, big number. So it is crazy. At the time I was reading the press release and the news about it, they haven't confirmed they were like to what extent this buyout was gonna be. So Warner Brothers, as you probably know, they have a lot of divisions. You got your film and TV studios, and you got your DC studios under Warner Brothers, and you got established TV franchises and a whole lot of library like Friends and Big Bang Theory comes under that. Game of Thrones come under that. Jetsons and Running Point, Abbott Elementary. There's a whole bunch of TV production that's happening under them, and there's HBO and HBO Max that's under them, and they've got, Harry Potter is under them. What else is under them? Lord of the Rings used to be under them. I think they sold the gaming rights off to Embracer Group. And we talked about how Embracer Group has acquired the game rights to Lord of the Rings IP, and they're working on a Lord of the Rings game apparently. Other than that, I think the movie and TV show rights still remain under Warner Brothers. So they've got a whole lot of stuff going on with them at the moment, despite this acquisition. So, and also in terms of gaming, they have, all the whole gaming division under them. They with Rocksteady, with Batman franchise and Batman Arkham franchise and Mortal Kombat, Hogwarts Legacy. They're all sitting under them. Can't think of anything else on top of my head right now, but you get the idea. So at the time of this news, I wasn't sure whether how much of a big part the gaming division is going to be, because obviously this is Netflix. Their whole focus is surely on the film and TV production side of the business, obviously. But since that press release on Friday, well, yesterday, it is revealed that there will be they will include Warner Brothers Games division as part of the acquisition, which means they will then be owning studios like NetherRealm, Rocksteady, TT Games, and Avalanche Studios, um, who may yeah. So they will all now be sitting under Netflix Games umbrella, which is very interesting. Uh, yeah, and this is what they've said. I'll just refer to the Insider Gaming article, which has like snippets from the actual big press release. Today's announcement combines two of the greatest storytelling companies in the world to bring to even more people the entertainment they love to watch the most. The acquisition will improve our offering and accelerate our business for decades to come. With our global reach and proven business model, we can introduce a broader audience to the worlds they create, giving our members more options, attracting more fans to our best in class streaming service, strengthening the entire entertainment industry, and creating more value for shareholders. It's worth mentioning that while the deal mentions a full acquisition of Warner Bros., which is said to be the name of the streaming and studio side of the company, there was no mention of the games division. Yeah, but that's been up ever since then. It's been updated. They put an update here saying Netflix has confirmed that it will include Warner Bros. Games. Yeah. So, what do we think about this whole situation? Um, I think Netflix. Their focus is primarily on eliminating the competition when it comes to film and TV, because that's where the bigger part of their business is. Sure, they have Netflix games, but as it exists right now, Netflix games is very focused on mobile and TV, and that is essentially because most of their target audience, also enjoy their content through mobile devices and TV. So not necessarily on PCs or consoles. And if you do own a PC or consoles, are you gonna go to Netflix to buy a game or play a game? Probably not. The landscape hasn't changed to that level yet. So this acquisition is not going to change that landscape for gaming space, at least. So I don't think they're going to put a huge focus on their gaming studios after the acquisition. I mean, of course, they're going to get them as part of the deal, but I think they're just probably going to leave those studios alone and let them do keep on working on their projects. They'll probably have some involvement, pretty sure, but I think for the most part they will probably leave them to just work on their projects and just help them financially and do whatever needs to be done. I can't I can't seem to. I mean, I don't think there's going to be like if you're expecting this acquisition will end up bringing back a lot of this old stuff or whatever. Probably won't happen straight away, even if it is going to happen. I think the focus will be on merging of content libraries and figuring out what platform is going to be available. I mean, now we got HBO Max as part of the deal. So, do they want to keep HBO Max as a separate offering, or do they want to merge both libraries all to have just to be on Netflix? What do they want to do there? Don't know. I mean, if from a business perspective, if they keep both offerings, they're probably going to bring more money in. But is that what they would do, or would they actually, have a bigger content library in just one place, which is Netflix, and have higher price point? Don't know. So those are the kind of stuff they will probably figure out first, while leaving the gaming companies to just work on whatever the projects that they have been working on, because we know they're already working on Hogwarts Legacy 2, a couple of other games that I can't really remember right now. But what they will probably do is try to bring some of the old games that could be brought to mobile, and let it sit under the Netflix umbrella of Netflix games. like they have recently done with Red Dead Redemption. Um, so if you know what I'm talking about, Red Dead Redemption is now on Netflix. When I say that, what I really mean is you can actually download Red Dead Redemption as a to your mobile and play it on your mobile. So there's a mobile port of the the game now. And if you are a Netflix member, it's free for you to download. If not, it's a I think 50 or $60 Australian dollars on the App Store to download it. Yeah, but it is completely free for you if you own Netflix, and you can download the Netflix version, which is the same game, but you download it via the app. So you might see Netflix trying to do that with some of the games that they can do that with. For an example, you can probably do a mobile port of the old Arkham games, Batman Arkham games, which would be really cool. And they might make it available on mobile to play on the Netflix and stuff like that. But other than that, do I think they're going to have a massive impact on the current Warner Brother games? Probably not. Probably not. I think they will, for the most part, leave them alone, at least for a while. At least for a while before they start getting heavily involved. We never know. We never know how these acquisitions will go. They might actually reshuffle a lot of things after the acquisitions, but if they know what's good for them, they will be very careful before they make decisions, because gaming industry is a very um, interesting industry, and if you don't understand, if you don't recognize the talents and the trends within the gaming space, you can very easily make the wrong decision and make it all go to crap. We have all seen this happen, even within Warner Brothers itself. They've got legends like Rocksteady and NetherRealm and um these kind of studios that made legendary games like Batman Arkham games, and then trying to chase trends, they made Justice League. Did it get disconnected? I hope I'm back. Okay. Anyway. Okay, connection successful. I just got a notification saying OBS got disconnected. Hope I'm back. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, Rocksteady's developers are masters of storytelling. They are masters of environmental storytelling, and um, just really great at like physical melee combat and stuff. Like the Batman combat system was so iconic at the time. It became the base for all the superhero games, like even games that came much later, like the Spider-Man games, drew direct inspiration from the Batman combat system. And Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War games also had the Batman combat system DNA in it, although it is under Warner Brothers, so understandable. But so many other games actually looked as the Batman games as the standard for melee combat. Before that, they almost like reinvented that system, so which was great. So they had like great legends in the business, and they misused them. So would Netflix do the same thing? I don't know, dude. I don't know. They can very well do that. It all depends on the leadership, obviously. So we're just gonna have to wait and see whether this acquisition will actually amount to huge changes that are meaningful for the gaming space, like especially the gaming industries that's sitting under Warner Brothers, or it's gonna, and or whether they're gonna start making decisions that drive people to madness and piss people off. We don't know that. We don't know, but we're just gonna have to keep our fingers crossed and just hope for the best. Really, that's it. That's it. Anyway, moving on. Let me know what you guys think. I always don't know what you guys think, so let me know. Moving on to this videos that I want to watch with you guys, because Man, there's a whole bunch. Actually, there's not a whole bunch. There's only 3. So we'll get through it today. Starting with, we have just been gifted. Oops, sorry. We have just been gifted to 10 minutes of exclusive early campaign gameplay for High on Life 2. High on Life 2. You guys know, like, if you play that game, you know how crazy that game is. It's a very small game. High on Life 1 was like a very small game. Like it's a first person shooter story game. It wasn't that long, but it became an instant classic for its like comedy and like how different it was from other games. You got like talking guns and shit talking to you into your face the entire time, which can get a little bit annoying like few hours into the game. But I think they did a great job trying to balance that out a little bit. But you know, it was a good game, or not without its weaknesses, but it was a pretty good game. And now we're getting 2, High on Life 2, and here's some gameplay. Let's check it out.
Welcome to Pink Line Harbor. Your target is billionaire Larry Pinkstock. He's on board the big cruise ship in the bay. You can't miss it.
Yeah, pretty simple. You'll just need to find a way on board. And try to keep a low profile, okay?
That IGN compression's at work again. Great.
Oh, man.
This is supposed to be a 4K video. Great.
Remember, Craig doesn't want any interruptions while we're working on liberating Gessie.
Yeah. Don't let anyone suspicious into the harbor.
Yeah, no distractions. We're here for Gessie, and that's it.
I got it already. Enough. Can I just have some quiet? I like to zone out while I'm on guard duty.
Fine. Jeez. Fuck me for trying to pass the time with some friendly
Oh, that's a
conversation.
new gun.
Alright, Biker boys.
Hold it. This harbor is Buttons, Gluttons, turf while our leader Craig's in town. Nobody comes through without our permission.
Hey, wait a minute. Where do I know you from?
Yeah, now that you mention it, they do look familiar. Maybe you got a different outfit on or something. But I swear.
Oh, god damn it. They're bounty hunters. Just play it cool.
Were you on the news or something?
Oh, no, sorry. We're just a bunch of nobodies. You've definitely never heard of us. We're nobodies.
Really? I don't know. I really feel like I know you.
Oh, man. I know who you are. You're that traitor bounty hunter who turned on their own kind just to protect some terrorist chick. You got a huge bounty on your head.
Oh, shit! Bad luck, pals. You're fucking dead now. Gluttons attack!
Shit. No avoiding it, I guess. Take them out.
Jesus. Okay.
Time bubble threat. Got them all.
I just looked these guys up. They're part of a bounty hunting gang called the Buttons Gluttons. Shouldn't give you too much trouble, but we probably don't want to get on the radar of their boss. He's a tough
Gene's
cookie,
back, baby.
Craig Button. I've heard some stories about him.
Okay. Whoa. Okay.
Hey, am I
You
getting
got
through?
you almost
Sweet,
gliding
wonderful.
around.
Rumors say you're in the area. Come find my skate shop by the beach. I'm gonna hook you up.
Whoa, was that the lizard guy? Should we trust him?
It seemed like we won him over at the zoo. Maybe it's
This
worth
is cool.
seeing what he wants.
Oh, shit. What's up, dude? Glad you made it out of there alive. Thanks for coming by. Check out the merch. All totally legal.
I mean, it just feels like more content from High on Life.
Seriously, so sorry
Which is not bad.
about attacking you before. No hard feelings? I'm a changed man. I want to do whatever I can to help.
We're over it.
Here, take this as a gesture of goodwill.
Oh, shit. Thanks, dude.
All right, good. Now that that's dealt with, you're gonna need a ticket to get onto that ship.
I hacked into their passenger logs. Looks like not everyone's boarded yet. Got any leads, Gene?
Yeah, my informant network is pointing us towards some local beach bar, Pink Bellies. Some guy blabbing about having an extra ticket.
That sounds promising. All right, head to Pink Belly's right away. Good luck.
Sure thing.
Whoa! Stand back! This sandcastle is being condemned for being a public safety hazard. Terrible fucking sandcastle.
I'm sorry. I did a bad job.
No need to be a prick.
Look, Child or not, there are safety regulations for a reason.
He's right.
Jeez. Okay. I wonder if you could just destroy that castle. That would be fun.
Keep moving, cause this thing ain't working.
Oh, the movement system, man. That looks fun as hell.
This is a no drowning zone.
Dude, aren't you gonna save those drowning people?
Sorry, it's against the rules to drown. They knew that going in. Not my problem.
Okay. Where are the drowning people?
Please.
Oh, there they are.
Oh God, please. Thank you. You've got to save me. What are you doing? Don't leave me. Oh, oh, good idea. This is gonna work. There you go. There you go. Pull me to shore.
Oh shit.
It's working. It's working.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Get me out of here. You're doing
that's a fun
Keep
little
pulling.
side game.
Wait, come back. I knew you wouldn't leave me.
Why does it sound like Michael Jackson?
Wait, take me with you. Thanks for coming back to save me. Oh, thank God. I was
The animation
when
is
the
so
undertow
funny.
suddenly got me. Thought I was a goner. I owe you my life.
Oh, glad I can help. Okay, a little embarrassing, but I was just reading the manual. Apparently I am supposed to save people, so you showed me how to do it. Now I know how to do it, and I'm thankful for that. Here's a reward. Consider yourself an honorary lifeguard.
Oh.
No.
Pool
What?
floaties.
Oh, what a fucking ripoff.
Don't help me, I'm not drowning. What the hell? I was trying to swim over there.
Oh, sorry. We thought you were yelling for help.
No, I was yelling, don't help me, I'm not drowning. You know, to put the lifeguard at ease.
And I really appreciate that.
Classic High on Life, man.
Not working right now, better keep walking.
Ready for action.
It's got to be somewhere.
Damn, I'm really digging this skateboarding movement.
Heads up, dipshit. Security's all grouped together there.
I'm detecting a network-connected wanted poster in the area. Good guys use them as an alert system if a wanted criminal is nearby, so be careful.
Heads up, that's the outlaw.
God damn
Whoa.
it, this was a trap. Guess we'll have to kill even more of ya.
All right, no more good guys detected. Now let's take down that wanted poster.
Sounds like a job for motherfucking knifey. Yeah, rip that shit up.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of those wanted posters all around Circuit Arcadia. Keep an eye out. You're gonna have to steer clear or rip them up if you want to walk peacefully around here.
Dang.
It ain't working, dipshit. I don't think this is the way to get to Pink Bellies.
Okay, this looks really fun, dude.
Hey, buddy. Need a lug lock?
Yeah, look at that. Of course we do.
Immediate stop.
So you want to hunt down some lugloxes on your own? No problem. Not that you can handle it, but we've scouted all their nesting grounds, so maybe you want to buy one of these hinting where they can be found. Sold. I hope it comes in handy.
Okay.
Doesn't look like it's working right now, but we can get back here easily when it's active. Shit, they got this path closed off. This lock looks familiar, though. Wonder if there's any of those lug blobs around we could use on it. A lug blob! Look, it's one of those gross lug blob things. There you are, you little lug blob bastard. Let's get this thing on that power panel. There we go. These lug blobs aren't so bad for an invasive species.
Is that pink stock's giant head we're walking through? Oh, God, I can't wait to kill this guy. He's so annoying.
So cool. All right. Oh, it's coming to Xbox Game Pass. Oh, yeah, I don't know. These are great games coming to Xbox Game Pass. Like, how are they gonna make money out of this, bro? Anyway, that looks fun. That was really, really fun. I have thoroughly and absolutely have enjoyed High on Life, the first game. It was a whole lot of fun, and it was very different when it dropped. Don't think we have at the time when the first one dropped. I don't think there was a game like that before it. So it obviously did really well, and I don't think there's been a game like that since either. So it's managed to create its own little vibe and identity around the game, which is amazing. And it's got a lot of very specific what is it, South Park humor, which is an acquired taste, I know. But the combat and movement is really fun, and I think they have doubled down on that. Now they've given the dude a skateboard, and now you're just skating around and shooting people in the game. So which looks like a lot of fun, and also using grapple hooks and sliding on the ropes and stuff. Looks hella fun. The movement system is so fast now, and you got more new guns that talk shit with you, which is funny and amazing. I think it's to be a good time, a good comedy first-person shooter, a pretty solid sequel to the first one, by the look of it. But yeah, did you enjoy the first game? And are you hyped for the second one? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Moving on to the next one. This is a good one because this is a game play reveal. This gameplay reveal just dropped like 2 days ago on IGN, and I saw this and I was like, holy crap, because it is a completely unexpected new IP from a new developer, I believe. Yeah, and yeah, I will get to that in a minute, but let's look at the gameplay. Hang on. Let me just open up my Steam page as usual so I can show you what I'm talking about, okay? God. So the game is called The God Slayer. The God Slayer... I'll just post that. Yeah, so the God Slayer is the game that we're going to be looking at, and it's an Eastern-inspired steampunk metropolis where gods known as celestial reign with a divine fist. In this open-world RPG, you are an elemental who refuses to bow, infused with elemental powers and a heart of vengeance. You will dethrone them all. You will rise to be the God Slayer. I'm just going to add it to my wish list because I am very intrigued by all this. And if you look at the developer, there's no release date announced yet. This is literally just a gameplay review at this point. The developer and publisher Pathia game. What they made before this game is My Time at Portia. That's what they have made before this game. Okay. I mean, they have made a few other games. My Time at Sandrock, Ever Forward, Super Buckyball Tournament Preseason, and Planet Explorers. But I think this has been the one that's most successful for them, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this was their last game. Going from this game to something like what I'm about to show you is a complete shift in both focus and development style, and pretty much everything. So buckle up. There's about 9 minutes of gameplay here, and it looks amazing. But I do have some thoughts, so I'll get to that. So let's watch that together. Yeah. My Time at Portia was their last game. Yeah. Yeah, so it is cool. It is very cool. I mean, this bit is obviously like pre-rendered cutscene or something like that, pre-rendered cinematic. It looks pretty cool, but you're about to see some gameplay after this as well. This is giving you some vibe. It's got like mechs and crazy like Avatar, The Last Airbender type shit going on, like with elemental powers. It's all crazy. Here we go. Yeah, so in-game footage, but does not represent final gameplay. So that probably means this is obviously very early alpha build. It says here in development footage as well. So we're obviously going to see some issues, but they're very transparent about it at least. So I'm happy to see that.
The hideout is on fire.
Celestials.
Master, they must be after the researcher.
Could be.
Got some Ubisoft level face animations here, but I think that's probably because it's early builds.
I'll deal with the Celestials. You go on ahead and find out what's going on. Don't do anything rash.
Okay. Straight into the game. Beautiful.
Easy for you to say. Now, how do I get past all the soldiers?
What happened?
And he tells me not to do anything rash.
Oh, ooh, that's very cool. He didn't even touch them. Oh, ooh, ooh. Okay. As I mentioned before, the movement feels a little janky right there. As you can see, he's feeling a little floaty on the steps, and a little slower, in my opinion. There you go. He's like, it feels like he's like. It looks like he's moving at the same speed. There's no momentum into his like steps. Like when you press forward, it looks like he's shifting straight into the movement animation, but that makes it look like you're like sort of stepping in the same spot. You're kind of almost like floating on the same ground area. If you know what I mean. Like I'll show that again. This bit very specifically, like here. See, it's like, yeah, it's a little janky, but I think this is in development footage that's very early in the game, so they'll probably get. Ooh, that's cool. Destroy the tiles. The running speed seems a little slow to me. Like just basic running speed. It's very cool. So you got wind and you got fire. So you're like Avatar basically. Ooh. Ooh. That's very cool. That's very cool. Cool moves, man.
Cool off, you lot.
Cool off. Oh. Oh. I don't know if that was like a super scripted part of the game, but if you could just do that in mid combat with any objects, and like there are like tanks, water tanks. Oh, and you get. Sorry, I was just saying, like I don't know whether you can do that anyway in the game. It was just like a very scripted part of the sequence where you just pull down a water tank. I'm assuming if you could pull down a water tank, there might be water tanks or like objects that's containing water placed in the world for you to use. I'm assuming. If that's the case, that is very cool, and like the amount of water that's falling, like you get washed away as well. That's pretty cool. And what we are just seeing here, you turn that water and you can freeze them. That is so cool. So we're seeing a few systems, few combat systems that are sort of work in unison with each other and like complementing each other within the game. So you know, one action feeds to another one, sort of thing. So it's kind of like a chain reaction. That is so cool. To what extent that's in play, I'm not sure. But what we're seeing here, obviously this is a scripted sequence, and probably not even going to be in the final game, because you know they're basically showing like a proper gameplay in engine, conceptualizing what they want to achieve with the final game. So they're showing you the best parts. So that's why it's really cool. But in concept, this is the idea here, and until you actually play the game, that's why we probably wouldn't have a proper idea how good it is, like how good it feels in your hand to play it. But the thing is, you know, gameplay you can improve on, but what they're trying to show here is the concept, the idea of the game, and so far the idea is pretty cool. It's basically the Avatar, the Last Airbender in a game, with like a little bit of like Devil May Cry. Actually, not really like that at all, but you know what I mean. A little bit of that. That's some crazy hair though. So you do move all the elements. You can move every element. That is cool. A boss fight. God damn. That was a really cool transition from one place to another without any loading screens. I think it looks that way. That was very smooth. Oh yeah. Oh my god, that is cool. That is cool, dude. Man, you're riding the rock that you're pushing too. Oh, there it is. There it is. You're pulling all the water from surrounding, like, streams or whatever. Holy crap. This is some massive God of War style stuff. I love big set pieces with massive bosses like this. It is the best. Love it, man. We don't get enough of this.
Go. Head for the signal.
No. Is it me or like he's slow? I think he feels a little slow. Like on the steps. His running animation could be a little faster, I reckon. Nice. Oh. Okay. It's a very interesting setting. It's got a little bit of cyberpunk and a little bit of like ancient cyberpunk alternative world. So cool, dude. So cool. Yeah, I don't know what to say. That was so cool. But yeah, it is very interesting. It is very interesting. Yeah, I think it is. Like I said, it's a very early build of the game that we're seeing, so there's a lot of jankiness in the game present, and I did notice a whole bunch of like frame rate drops as well. Although you might probably not see it very well because of like very bad compression from IGN again with their videos, unfortunately. But yeah, there was some heavy frame drops, especially with like really busy scenes with a lot of particles flying and with the mech present in the background. I think those are technical issues that will get ironed out eventually. So I'm not too concerned about those. It's also with the movement system and stuff like that. But I think what's important to mention is that the idea is really cool. Like the gameplay stuff that we're seeing here. Sorry. The gameplay stuff that we're seeing here is very, early stage, so they can evolve and change and also be even more like detailed and better. But the whole setting, like the whole like an Avatar, The Last Airbender type setting, with the combat system, with the mechs and everything, it looks really cool. It looks really cool. The setting I really dig. The concept I really really dig. And yeah, and coming from creating games like My Time at Portia to a steampunk fantasy RPG, open world RPG like this is a really big take for a studio like this. So I'm well, I'm really really hoping that they are able to master this and actually bring a really solid game into our hands. But I have full faith because I'm not saying that they will make it. I'm saying I have faith because they are coming from a different, making different type of game. That means they have fresh eyes into this. So that means they're not going to be afraid to try out fresh ideas, and that's what I saw from this game. And yeah, it looks like you're going to be using your using elemental powers. That's very cool. And yeah, you're gonna have massive boss fights. So I'm all for it. I don't know whether this is gonna be like an open world, like a free to play game though. I'm not really sure whether this would be a paid game or a free to play game. But it did feel like it had like free to play elements that you see from games like where it meets. It's gonna be really tough to judge these, especially when they become like not free to play and paid games at this caliber going forward, because Where Winds Meet have really really spoiled it for us, and you know that it is doing really well because man, that it's got over 9 million people playing that game right now, and it is crazy, and it's a good game. And I'm still playing it. I'm super early in the game. I haven't actually gone deep into it because I'm trying to balance it with other games. But my goodness, man, like it is. I every time I open up that game and play, it always amazes me how this game is free, how they can manage to keep it free. I mean, I do know how. They're banking on the big whales to make the money back, but still, it's just cosmetics. There's nothing, no pay to win. Anyway, I keep going back to Where Winds Meet, but my what I was trying to say is this game does feel like that kind of a game, but I doubt that it would be a free to play game though. Although it might be. You never know, because Pathia Games have done a free to play title. I spotted on Steam. They have done a free to play game before. So it could be the Planet Explorers, which is a very small open world sandbox game RPG. It is a very this is what I'm looking at. So this game that you're seeing here, this is one of their games. This is what they have made as a previous open world RPG adventure, and it was a free to play game that they have made. Same guys, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Although this came in 2016, so it's been a while. It's been nearly a decade. But yeah, the fact that this game is made by the same guys is crazy to me. So something to keep an eye out. Wishlist on Steam. I'm not sure whether this is coming to console, but you can wishlist it on Steam for now. Just gonna wait and see and how the game develops, and the more information as the time goes and as the development progresses, we'll probably hear more about it. But for now, it is a game to keep an eye out and keep an eye on, because yeah, it has great potential to be one of the best games. At least at least for me, it does. So yeah. What's up, B Series? Thanks for the follow, my friend. Anyway, I was just talking about this new game called God Slayer, and we just had a look at it. But yeah, have you been watching my YouTube stuff? Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, I was just looking at some of the new game that just dropped, and was just talking about how crazy it looks and whether or not that it will be free to play. This game in specific, it's called the God Slayer. So we're just talking about that, and yeah, the developers have made games before, but this is like they made My Time at Portia, so it's like a very different kind of game. So this is uncharted territory for those guys. So it'll be very interesting to see how this game develops. Anyway, yeah, that is something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on. It'll be either it's going to be a really really good game, and it'll be, if it's free to play, it'll be even better. But even if it's not, it has the potential to be one of the good games to come out. Won't be a new game, by the way. It's F126. By the way, it's gonna be a DLC for F125. 2027 is where complete new F1 game comes. Okay, yeah, well, I can't say I'm a huge enjoyer of F1 games, to be honest, dude, because, like, honestly, yeah, I don't really play F1 games, to be honest, or like any racing games. I think the only game that I have actually thoroughly enjoyed is the Forza Horizon games. Those I really did enjoy. Not a big car game fan. Actually, that's wrong. I used to enjoy Need for Speed a lot. So I mean, this is more like sim, right? A car sim. I'm not really. I don't even have a sim rig, so yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Those kind of like a yearly annualized games, even with like FIFA games and stuff like that, they pretty much have the same shit every year. They just have a new roster, right? That's pretty much all that's get changed, and maybe a little bit of up in graphics. But it used to be a bigger jumps back in the day, but now in 2025, I don't think it is possible to make bigger jumps in graphics or details wise. So it feels like more or less the same game, and you're just getting DLCs every year. So full price DLCs. uh, anyway, I wanted to talk about this video that IGN has dropped because I thought it was fascinating. You guys know that I have been very interested in the development of the new James Bond game. Yeah. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, the flash memory shortage is concerning though. Can't build new PCs with RAM and... Yeah, dude. Oh, I have actually exclusively talked about this while back when they started popping up. But yeah, it looks like the whole situation is getting worse at the moment. Yeah, I don't know when it'll go back to normal. It's kind of crazy. The prices are getting almost doubled and triple, especially with the RAM concerned. I've seen some of the RAMs going like 32 GB RAM going for like, or 64 GB RAM going for double the price, which is crazy. This is going to affect pretty much everything consumer electronics moving forward. So Yeah, and I've been wanting to add more SSD storage into my PC, but god damn, it's crazy. And I've already got like two SSDs in here, but I wanted to add another one, but sort of contemplating whether to sink in uh almost $1,000 or just wait. You know, I'm lucky enough to get a MacBook Pro before the problem comes, but too bad not much Dell port games to Mac. I can't actually play PC games until I get a translator. Yeah, you know what? I feel like you're still kind of better off get investing on a PS5. To be honest, one of my mates just bought a PS5 just a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned that he managed to get a PS5 for pretty decent price because they had it on sale for like Black Friday, and I'm assuming there'll be like Christmas sales as well, holiday sales. So I think um, with the RAM shortages and stuff, the PS5 prices will not be affected at least for a while because Sony has made the smart decision to stock up on RAM and SSDs um, before they started skyrocketing. So they have RAM and SSD stock with them in order to keep making the PS5 consoles at the same price, unlike Xbox and all the other consoles available. So I don't think PS5 has any plans to put up the price of the PS5 for a while. So if you want to play games and keep up to date with most of the games that are coming out, PS5 is a good bet, I would say. If you don't have the budget and the knowledge to sink in to a PC, Ironically, PS5 is right now is still one of the cheapest consoles in the market, and if you consider the Black Friday sales and holiday sales are much cheaper, much cheaper. Here in Australia, they were selling for about $750, and you can get one right now for about $500, a brand new one. So it's a steal. It is definitely a steal. And Xbox even costs more than a PS5, and you can't play anything on Xbox really. So all the games are coming to PS5, dude. So like, and even GTA 6 is coming to PS5. It's not even coming to PC. So if you especially if you're looking to play, GTA when it drops, hopefully next year, I would probably go with the PS5 right now. While they still have stocks at the same price, because I would assume with the RAM shortages, if they don't go away, for a while, eventually Sony's going to have to put up the price for the PS5 as well, even if they don't do it now. So yeah, I would probably get one while stocks last. I'm still begging a set of Corsa devs to port the game to Mac. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, Macs are great, but I know they're trying to, appeal to the gaming audience, but I just don't know whether they're like switches. MacBooks are like kind of switches of Nintendo switches of PC. So yeah, and the MacBooks have like completely different architecture to normal PCs that you make. So I would assume, especially like devs having to port these games, it's a lot of work for them to actually, port it to MacBook specifically, because they have to consider the different architecture that runs on MacBook, much like when you have to port games to like different consoles. So I reckon that's why there's a lot of barrier for developers to do that, and also because Mac is not really a popular console, but popular platform for a lot of players to play graphic-heavy games. Like normal games, yeah, I do see a lot of people play, but graphic-heavy games, I don't know whether that's still the main choice for most people. Whereas you can buy like a console for cheaper. And not to mention MacBooks, man, the storage costs you so much on MacBooks. It's crazy, and there's no way to customize or add storage if you want to. You're stuck with what you buy. So there's very limited choice when it comes to Mac. I have a MacBook Pro myself, but I haven't even considered using the MacBook Pro for gaming. I had like one game on it like that I wanted to play, but I just didn't really play it on it. I didn't end up playing on it. So anyway, just what I think. So do I think if you get a set of Corsa devs to port the game to MacBook? I don't know, man. I don't know. It might happen if there's enough people asking for it, and if they realize that people want to play that game on Mac. But if that's not the case, I'm not sure whether the developers will be willing to put in the time that's needed to port the game to a platform that is not mainstream and probably not even going to get enough, sales on. So that is something to consider. That is something to consider. And yeah. Anyway, I want to talk about James Bond. Like I said, First Light. This is something that I have been anticipating a lot, and we haven't really gotten a James Bond game after like the GoldenEye. GoldenEye was a while back. We were little kids, and this is like the first mainline official James Bond game that we're getting. And the fact that it's made by the same people who make Hitman is it's genuinely intriguing, because they actually might be onto something here. So IGN put out an official gameplay dev diary, if you want to call it. It's like a reaction and insights video, and it's named episode 1, so I'm assuming there's more coming. So I just wanted to check it out because I think there might be some interesting tidbits we might find here. So let's give it a shot and see what they say.
Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Beyond the Lights.
Whoa.
A series where developers are reacting to your comments, providing deep insights, and taking you behind the scenes of how we're crafting 007 First Light.
Dude, what's with the compression and quality of this video, dude? It looks like it was uploaded 10 years ago.
First
Jeez.
episode is going to be focused on gameplay. Let's get straight into it.
Hello guys, I'm Andreas. I've been at IOI for around 10 years, and currently I'm the gameplay director of 007 First Light.
Now, let's see what all the fuss is about.
Let's go.
Creative approach.
Bye.
Oh, you can lock the door? Oh, that's amazing.
I appreciate that they broke it up, where the underlings may not know everybody.
Oh, there's Luke Stevens, one of my favorite guys.
That's working that location, but the people in charge would, so you can't bluff them in the same way.
I knew from like Hitman and Stealth, like you have many different ways to achieve your objective, but I also love how many options you have in combat.
Yeah, exactly like that actually. Like we had a similar concept in Hitman with the enforcers.
Bro looks like
It's
Agent
not the exact
47.
same thing, but it's related. So you have these NPCs that can see through you because they know the people working there. That's the idea about it. And it helps a lot when you try to create puzzles and setups to challenge the player in various ways.
Keep a low profile and don't let your guards down. 009 most certainly won't.
Creative approach, that's one of those fun things where really the base definition is about the player feeling creative when overcoming any given challenge in the game. And it's really easy to say that, but it's really hard to kind of translate that into what is the moment-to-moment gameplay that make you feel creative this way. But from this game, we broke it down into the thing that you need to know that there are different options in the game. If we start violating that trust as developers, the player will forget those options or not use them because they don't rely on them, and then it becomes much more narrow option space, so you disregard that, or you get less creative at least in that sense. The last thing, and I think this is a key ingredient that we also had in our prior stealth games in Hitman, was, and I coined this as uncertainty in execution. It's really the thing that you know your own options, you see the options in the environment, and you get to that point where you think, okay, I'm gonna try this thing. So it might be throwing the smoke device and try to sneak by. When you get to the other point and get past them, you think to yourself, oh, I did it. It actually worked. The thing I wanted to do, it worked.
That's cool. That's cool.
We've made games in the past where combat.
It's it's not really a surprise that IOI Interactive has gone with that approach with the James Bond game, because this is exactly what they have done with the previous Hitman games, especially the later ones. The Hitman 3, that what is it now called, the World of Assassination as they call it now. Um, they are trying to they have done pretty much a similar approach in their little sandbox missions that you can do assassination targets with Hitman, where you can take pretty much any approach that you wish to take, and there are very complicated paths that you can take in order to take out a target. And it just makes sense that they went with a similar approach for James Bond, and let you as the player decide which approach to take, and let you have that creative freedom in order to take out your targets and feel like an absolute badass. So kind of makes sense, man. I would be very surprised if they didn't include that in James Bond game, because that would have been like a sure missed opportunity. So I'm very glad that they're going with it.
Wasn't really the main approach. So now we have a game where we want stealth and combat to be on equal footing. Some of the ways that I think we push it forward is, and this is very gameplay focused, it's in the stealth gameplay actually, where we now have ways to de-escalate situations a lot easier than we've had before. And that happened because we've married some of those Bond traits into our stealth mechanics. So
that's cool.
So for instance, the bluff.
Oi, I need to find Saunders. There's a chance the suspect is dressed as security. The bastard could be hiding right under your noses.
Damn. I'll keep an eye out for new faces.
Those are ways to kind of contain a situation, even though you were spotted in a place where you weren't supposed to be. You can talk your way out of it, or you can de-escalate the situation and maintain kind of your stealth status. So that loop in a...
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna keep posting every time I have something to say. So sorry. The whole bluff situation, I do have questions about it, because it hasn't really been super clear to what extent that you can utilize it in the game. You saw that if you go back here, you saw that over here you have a button that you can press with circle to bluff, right? It's like press F to pay respects. So you press circle, and then it goes into like a little animation in-game cutscene where you just blurt something out and then confuse the people, something like that. That's what it looks like over here. That's how it plays out over here. But I don't know to what extent would it actually go in the game as the story progresses. That's what I am not super clear about, because what I don't want to do is, when you're in a situation like the bluff mechanic to be just the press of a button, and that's the extent of the whole bluff mechanic. I really hope that it's a little bit more nuanced than just pressing a button to distract. That's because like the guy said, the whole bluff mechanic is tied into the personality trait of James Bond. James Bond is a sweet talker, and we know that. If you're a James Bond fan, you know that. And so it makes total sense to have bluffing mechanic built into the gameplay, especially the stealth gameplay. But I want it to be a little bit more nuanced, where you probably have a little bit of dialogue options to make your way through that bluff, rather than pressing a button and just have some dialogue play out and then go back into whatever you're doing. Rather than that, if you can be a little bit more involved in that whole bluffing mechanic, where you actually choose the dialogue maybe sometimes, or more there are unexpected twists to it where you have to navigate through the bluff when you do it, stuff like that would be really interesting, because that will feel really badass. You're not just pressing a button and then just waiting for the cutscene to play out. You're pressing it, and then it's triggering this whole bluffing scenario where you say something and there's like a convince mechanic where you have to convince whoever you're bluffing that you're not bluffing, right? And you're gonna have to navigate that path to convince, and then it'll either end in a success where you trigger a successful bluff, or you fail it and then it triggers like a fail, and then everybody gets alerted, like something like that. And so like I really wish it goes to that extent, because if it doesn't, it will be really like, yeah, you know what I mean. It'll be very super simple and basic, and I don't know if I want that, to be honest. I really hope they work into that bluff mechanic a little more.
So that loop in a stealth gameplay setting is something that twists us a little bit away from the normal stealth loops. It feels very good to have that second win or way out, at least.
Books on display about the castle and local history.
Wonder if you could help me.
I'll certainly try, sir.
Are we ready? All right. Hello, my name is Thomas. I'm a senior level designer on 007 First Light, and I've been at IOI for about 4 years. So in order to highlight the environment, I think we rely a lot on making sure that the player is actually able to see every opportunity at first glance. One of the most important part for us is to be able to give information without the player actually thinking about it. So he just enters the space, look at what he has, and sees the options. And it can be just a railing, it can be two people talking, it could be some kind of eavesdrop opportunity. But the goal is that we present everything in an impeccable way so that the player can actually glance the options and choose whatever he wants. When we talk about IOI, we say this is a postcard creator, because every time you want to dream about a location, you buy the postcard. And you're like, oh, what is the postcard of Italy? And you will say, oh, it's Pise, the tower, right? It's not just showing you this place, it's showing you what you want to be and where you want to be in that space. I think cool, what's interesting with having a young Bond is that it's a almost a new canvas for us and also for players. And usually when you jump into the boots of a new iconic character like this, you are trying to match the energy of that character, and it's very hard to give that to the player right away, because players, they just get to discover this character with you. And having a young Bond is perfect, because that means you get to understand what Bond will understand at the same time as him. So basically you will try and rehearse at the same time Bond will actually try and rehearse in the game, which matches the energy that we want to give and the story we're trying to tell.
That's cool. Good insight. I mean, it does make sense. It really does make sense that they went with a young Bond. I have said this before. People were really sometimes saying, oh, why are we going with like a really young looking Bond? Like Bond's supposed to be this like eccentric middle-aged man, blah, blah, blah. But I think for a game, it makes so much sense to go as a young Bond who's starting out and hasn't even become 007 yet. Because it gives you like that person just said, just a, free empty canvas for you to work on and really flesh out the character from the very beginning. And from a gameplay perspective, if you go into the game with like already the experienced Bond, it kind of loses the appeal as a game a little bit, because you're going in and you're already a badass from the beginning, and there's no sense of progression. So I think it makes us so much sense that they went with a young Bond and kind of like a sequel to his whole career as a 007, and that gives the developers a lot more wiggle room to take a little bit more creative liberty with the game and allow the character to develop into the agent we all know and love as 007. And then in sequels that they make, preferably if this game works out really well, they're obviously going to make sequels to this, and then you'll come to know the Bond already, and it'll be like a familiar progression from that point onwards, and it'll be about getting new gadgets and stuff like that. But for the first game, to establish this as a new IP, because that's what it is. The IP itself isn't new, but the gaming series is new. So you gotta establish that and make it super fun for people to get in, and you can't do that with an experienced, fleshed out character already. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
A direct
course, the laser. Yes, you can't really make Bond gadgets without having the laser.
Of course.
Nice.
On environmental weak points.
Nice.
Just think about the options. We can disable devices from a distance, put people to sleep from a distance, hack things, smoke bombs, distract. When we get caught in a restricted area, we can use up our instinct to bluff.
Exactly. Think about the options. This is funny because obviously we've been in various stages of development on this project, right? And in some of these stages, also in-house, we've talked about, do you have enough options? What is like? And you had so many options with the games we did prior to this, and it doesn't feel like we have the same. And when you look at them side by side now, Hitman and Bond, you can feel you have a lot more options here. Some of the things that in gameplay make you actually feel like James Bond is some of the things that you know from the movies also. It's unique moments where you see Bond fighting on an airplane wing, for instance. So in those moments you will feel like Bond. On top of that, there's obviously the gadgets, which is a key component of any Bond
what the
movie,
just
and
happened?
obviously should be in a game too.
Okay.
We always started too big by having so many options that it actually becomes very hard to see all of them. And then we just prototype and test and iterate and test, and we end up with a few that we really like. And the rule from every mission and every encounter, rather social or combat, is to make sure the player has at least 3 or more different ways to solve one option and one puzzle or one situation.
But there are some of these iconic things, like the laser. That's iconic, right? So we really wanted that in somehow. So what kind of object does the laser fit on, right? And we also wanted them to distinct from each other. So if we had, I think for the watch, you've seen the watch being the laser in the movies, but we had other things that we also wanted the watch to be. So how can we marry those things, right?
When it comes to gadget, I think the essential part for us was to make sure we provide the players with enough opportunities to use them. If the player wants to test something and use a gadget somewhere, it should behave the way the player think it should behave. And I think it was just us having fun and trying to find the best way to have fun with those gadgets. All that in mind with what Bond is and how he should use gadgets. Because we all know Bond in the movies, he always uses the gadgets at the last second for the wrong usage, but it works. And I think we also want to provide that, this kind of uncertainty, but you can still do it.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Oh. Right in the foot, and you see the guy actually go down by the foot. Yeah, you do. Yeah, he can climb this, which wasn't that way at all. It actually got knocked down after it got exploded. Look at him yeet the dude, and then kick his shotgun up into his hand.
Oh, no, that's fire.
This is like exactly what James Bond would be doing.
Holy God. But that destruction is what we're talking about. Ooh, ooh.
Having been he's grabbing stuff, ramming them, pushing them over the ledge.
I love the rushing. The melee combat looks great. It looks quite versatile, and I like
it.
The hand-to-hand combat does look kind of neat, not gonna lie.
I'm sorry, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Nice.
The hand-to-hand combat does feel really good. It looks really good.
Doing it for me.
God, I love this.
I also
sometimes, Jay.
Yeah, and obviously it's about adding all these moves so you can use the environment and you feel you have the range of the tools to do what you want, right? And you see here, you ram into things, you throw things from the environment, you throw people around over the environment into.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me a lot of Sleeping Dogs. I feel like they've taken a lot of inspiration from Sleeping Dogs with the hand-to-hand combat, which is amazing. I think they totally should if they haven't. And the melee combat system in Sleeping Dogs is, I think, still is one of the best, and like one of the best even to this date. And using the environmental environment as like a to ramming enemies into objects and stuff like that. Yeah, using an environment as part of the combat is directly something that I think Sleeping Dogs kind of did it in full scale first for an open world game too. So, and it really worked. And a lot of the games after that got inspired by that type of combat that was present in Sleeping Dogs, and I feel like it's made a full return to this, and it looks amazing. It's amazing.
The environment, and it's giving you a sense of improvisation, which is really Bond's signature way of doing close combat in this game, at least. Also, what you know from some of the movies. My favorite environment interaction is probably the fire extinguisher. So it was one of these where, okay, I set out a vision at some point where saying, okay, we need to use these environment set pieces in close combat, and they need to go off. Even though it's not super realistic, it's just so much fun to have it happen, right? So, and the signature first attempt was the fire extinguisher. So you grab somebody, you throw them into a fire extinguisher, and that fire extinguisher blows up. And it can blow that guy back in your face, or it can blow up other people surrounding him and whatnot. And the instant we tried it, you just laugh out loud. It's like so fun. So now it got all over the place, like with cement bags and scaffolding. Throw people into those, and it blows up. Yeah, you can shoot them in the feet now. We implemented something where we actually register that as not a direct kill. So this is a way to go through our spaces in a way that you don't kill anybody, even though we force combat on you in some specific cases. We make it so you can clear challenges in this way and clear these spaces without technically killing anybody. I recently tested another level where I had a similar sequence. I was shooting somebody and I ran out of bullets, and the most effective thing was to climb up a few stories onto a platform. I did that, but when I got there, I had another NPC in my face, and I punched him, and I needed to take him out fast, so I grabbed him, threw him over the railing, realized I still didn't have a gun, so I jumped after him, took his gun. There was another guy in my face, and I shot him, but I ran out of bullets, so I threw the gun. That took out the guy and ran to him, took up his weapon, and fought on. And it was just, I had to pause the game.
That is so cool.
Put my controller down. I was like, yes, it's actually happening naturally. The flow of events that we set out to do.
I think
exactly. That is so cool.
We build combat arenas and encounters. The goal for us is to make sure the player has enough options to use all the mechanics we have, so gadgets, guns, and melee. And I think to be able to achieve that, the best way is to provide moment-to-moment and second-to-second options for the player to always be able to move around and always move forward. That's the main thing we try to have, is that the player has to go forward and he has to be able to actually always find options. And that means we're not specifically a cover shooter. We don't want the player to stay and stick to one place. We want him to move around and switch between combat range and also combat melee. And that means also like using all the different things around to provide that.
Dude, we give so much shit to these developers, but like when they say that out loud, you kind of realize like how much of a difficult task that is. You're not only playing with environments, but you're also having to think about the psychology, the general psychology of the player, and how they would normally make decisions while they play the game, and cater to that thinking and shape the environments and combat everything around it, so the player end up doing exactly what you intended them to do. That's very difficult. That is very difficult. Like, to giving the player enough options while moving forward in the mission, making sure that it's both a combination of both melee and range melee and combat. Melee and combat. Range combat and melee. And all those things. Like they all have to be tied together in a perfect little package that can be enjoyed all together in order to make this work. To make sure that it feels like James Bond. If you don't achieve that, because this is not just some generic cover shooter or something, this is very specifically a James Bond game. So you have to, at the end of the day, make the player feel like you're being an absolute badass and you're James Bond. If you don't end up playing that as a player, you haven't done the job, and it'll end up become a total flop. So those are the kind of tight ropes that you're working on working on while you develop this game, and it is a very difficult task. And if they do achieve this at the end of the day, well, once they release it and everyone's on board, that would be amazing.
So combat scenarios are pretty different based on the mission and the context, right? So I think we have very guided combat moments where the player is there, everybody knows he's here and he's been seen, and you have to fight your way through, like every classic Bond movie. And in that sense, we usually provide forward momentum with like guiding the player towards a very essential and visual element, so that you always know where you need to go and you're not lost, so that you can also focus on the combat mechanics we have, moving forward, going from melee to range, and also trying to find your way through with gadgets.
In our previous games, combat, both range and close combat, was really a last resort for players. So this time around, we knew we had a protagonist that really, in James Bond, that really wanted a good combat experience. So we knew we had to craft that. We wanted it to be dynamic and reactionary and have that improvisation feel, as we know from James Bond as a character. And then I think the ultimate challenge was really the fact that we have these open gameplay spaces where we wanted the player to have total freedom, and you can choose whatever route you want. Do you want to do stealth? Do you want to do close combat, or anything in between, right? And for that to actually make sense for the player, we knew we had to craft a combat experience that was on par with the stealth experience. Some of the aspects in range combat in our game that we really wanted to highlight or emphasize on was the feeling of shooting a gun, right? You also need all those base level of functionality and feel that you have from other key shooter games, right? So we wanted that sound experience to be deep and impactful, and we spend a lot of time crafting explosions, right? To have that feel that feels like a beefy, meaty explosion.
I love the fact that you can just throw the gun at people. That is amazing. I love that they thought of that.
In 007 First Light feels like a very novel feature that we're doing here. It's something we had to invent for this game, because we have a character now that doesn't really shoot first. You know him as a character that he will use force if he needs to, but he won't shoot somebody who didn't actually shoot first. NPC draws a weapon, fires at you, or wants to really badly fire at you. Then we give you license to kill, and now you're also allowed to draw your weapon and fire at him.
That's the car.
It's got too much of a head start.
We had to up our game here, and you can't really have a James Bond game without driving, so we had to do something, right? And I'm very happy that it has gotten together as it has. So now there's actually driving segments in the game, and you can chase some. You can do some of these mood driving segments where it's a little bit more calm. That's
cool.
Usually introductions to levels, and then you have some high octane chases to have fun with. I mean, the ultimate feeling we want to give the player is to feel like having played as the James Bond character, and this just adds so much into that bucket of feeling.
That was the first episode of Beyond the Lights. We really hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. And don't forget, you can pre-order 007 First Light now and get a free deluxe upgrade. See you guys next time.
Cool. Nice. First Light coming March 27. My God, March is gonna be a packed year, man. A packed month. Absolutely packed month. We got First Light and Crimson Desert coming. What else is coming? So many games coming on March. Anyway, I think that was that provided some good insights into the development of the James Bond game. Actually got me more keen and more hyped for the game now. And there's going to be more episodes dropping probably in the coming months before launch by IGN with this whole Beyond the Light series with the game development cycle, which is awesome. And yeah, man, I think that's it provided some good insight, and it makes you realize like how tough it is to actually make these games, and how much thought and meticulous planning that goes into developing something like this because it's not just developing a game when it comes to working on a well-known IP like this. Like 007, James Bond is one of the oldest IPs in Hollywood and in the world as a whole, right? So you're working with an IP that is well known and beloved by a lot of people, and there's a core fan base that are hanging on to this. So you can't be careless with it. You have to put a lot of effort into it to make sure that you get it right, you get the feel right, and it's a different medium. This is not a TV show or movie. This is a game. How do you make a game for an IP that's based in, visual media like movies and TV shows, and transform that and translate that into a workable game that does both justice as both a game and justice to the character in question, which is James Bond, which is a very difficult task. But I think the guys that are involved in this development, I have a feeling that they know what they're doing, and I think they're doing extensive research, and they understand James Bond character, and they understand the James Bond universe, and they do have experience with having worked with Hitman, what sort of game that they can make out of it. So I think this will be a very interesting one when it comes out. Just have to wait and see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think if you're watching this later on YouTube. And that's pretty much it from me today. I'm gonna come back to you guys on Tuesday with another live stream. Until then, I wish you all the best and wish you all have a great rest of the weekend. Over here, it is going to be raining pretty much all weekend. I'm going to try and do some gardening if I can. I meant to do it today, but it's been raining all day, so I couldn't get it done. But going to try and do it tomorrow if I can. But never know. Or either that, or I might end up just playing Battlefield when I have free time. Who knows, man? But I'm going to try. Anyway, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Enjoy your week. And if you see this on YouTube and if you enjoy my content and, my yapping, please consider subscribing. That really helps me grow my channel. But yeah, I'll either see you on my next video or in my next live stream on Tuesday. Until then, bye-bye.
Alright, time to paradigm. The underdog's logging off. Baby! Thanks for hanging out for laughs, memes, and gaming clout. Even if I tripped, lost, or failed, you stuck around and that prevailed. We checked trailers, spilt the tea, mispronounced a game or three. Call of Duty fails, oh that's me, but the chat laughed along, pure victory. Grab your snacks, hydrate up, don't fall asleep. I'll be back soon with news to peep. The underdog may stumble, trip, or rage, but you're the legends who fill my stage. Grab your snacks, hydrate up, don't fall asleep. I'll be back soon with news to peep. The underdog may stumble, trip, or rage, but you're the legends who fill my stage. Attention chat, Jaybeazt is officially signing off. He may try to explain the plot of a game he hasn't played, argue with NPCs about story choices, or get stuck in the tutorial forever. And if someone says something wild in chat, he might go, "Oh mate, don't say that!" Thanks for surviving the chaos, laughing at my fails, and pretending my Call of Duty aim is fine. Catch you next time, same underdog energy, less chaos, maybe. But thanks for surviving the chaos, laughing at my fails, and pretending my Call of Duty aim is fine. Catch you next time, same underdog energy, less chaos, maybe. you.